It doesn't matter anyways, it's not that funny. Don't worry. Yes, my name is Tracker Miles. Don't worry, it's a name, not a hobby. But I'm only here for one mission tonight. I'm not really here for the contest, I must admit. I have an issue these days, and I feel like I must speak up. You see, the thing is, you know, classic movie monsters aren't getting the respect they deserve these days. In my opinion, you know, if you were, you know, back in the day, you'd see someone coming down the street who looked like a monster, you'd be like, oh my god, you'd run away, right? Nowadays, you'd see Dracula and you'd be like, oh my god, let me get a snap. And then you'd be like, hey, you know, I'm Dracula. I'm not gonna show up on this photo. The person would be like, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be real quick, you know? And, you know, all of a sudden they're got their arm wrapped around Dracula, they take the photo, snap. Oh no, the flash goes off, all of a sudden you just got a piece of dust behind you. Like, oh god, because he's Dracula, you know? Sad thing, you know? Let's see, another movie monster who doesn't get respect, I think, is Frankenstein. Anyone agree? You know, because the thing is, his name was never really Frankenstein. That was the doctor's name, right? Like, it was Dr. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Like, imagine if your name was Bill, and everyone was just like, oh, that's Frankenstein's monster. Man, walking around everywhere you go, just get called derogatory terms and shit. It's not cool. I think if Frankenstein was part of the LGBT community, people would be rioting in the streets, you know? It'd be like, hey, you have to call him by his pronouns. He goes by, again, so, I gotta respect that. See, another one, werewolves. They're not scary anymore, right? No, werewolves pretty much been ruined. I think werewolves these days are pretty much just furries, right? Because, like, everyone can identify as an animal these days, so freaking werewolves, you know, if somebody told me they turned into a werewolf at night, I'd be like, hey, at least you don't turn into a brony. I don't know, I still consider both of them a nuisance and a threat, but I don't know, werewolves aren't that bad. Let me tell you, one thing I don't consider a threat would have to be skeletons. You know, they are kind of becoming like the dollar store monster movie creature there can be. In the video games, they're the first villain, enemy the protagonist has to fight, right? They see a skeleton, they throw a pebble, turns into dust, like, oh my god, wasn't worth the experience, you know? The guy was more of a threat when he was still alive. I don't know, I don't think he has the guts for that lifestyle anymore, so that's how I feel about skeletons. Let me see, the worst Halloween creature I'd have to say these days, honestly, are the bats, right? Bats, terrible, worse than the dollar store. Because, you know, that's the one creature that, like, the fictional version is less scary than the real life one. You know what I mean? Like, you see a bat decoration, you're like, oh, that's cute, you know, that's not threatening. But if you see a bat, man, hell no, I'm running away from that shit. And it's not even the fact that I be around the bat, I don't have problems with bats. It's just what people would say about me because I've been around a bat, you know what I mean? I can already hear them talk. First thing they'd say was, you were around a bat, right? Well, was he wearing a mask? No, it's bad. Like, why is a bat gonna be wearing a mask? Like, okay, well, did it cough on you? It was up in a tree. How's this bat gonna cough on me? That's ridiculous, right? Or like, well, you know, it is an airborne disease. If you're breathing any air while you're around this bat, I'm gonna have to say, you're gonna have to stay home from work for 2 weeks, you know? And just start calling your friends and family now. Just tell them, you know, I can't see you anymore. Call up your ex-lovers, tell them, you know, yeah, I took a test last week and I gotta tell you, it's positive now. Things can really change our life. But yeah, everyone thinks this is a joke, but the thing is, that bat really did cough on me because it's Dracula. You know, the bastard. And he's never getting any vitamin D, so that's the reason why I caught COVID. It's not really fun. Let's see, how's it going? You know, I gotta make one more announcement besides the fact that monsters aren't getting the respect they deserve. You know, like, there's one day out of the year that I really love, and it's Halloween. And I love the spooks and the scares, but I have to say, I really love the women who dress up really sexy, and like, they're always in the nice boots, and the thighs, and you know, nice skirts. I have a proposition. Instead of one day out of the year, everyone gets to dress up sexy, we make it every day out of the year, these women dress up sexy. And then on Halloween, they dress up as nuns, because that'd still be sexy. No, but I mean, you know, women don't worry about being cold either, because I've dated a lot of women in my life, you know, and I find most of them are pretty cold. I'd have to say, no offense, but you know, I've dated a few cold women. This one girl, she was so cold, I swear to God. Every night we go to bed, and her half of the water bed would be frozen. It was tough, but I can't blame her, you know, because she was an ex of Dracula. You know, so it was to be expected. They go through these types of things. And, you know, they say every relationship sucks. For this one, it really sucked. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a tough one. She was always comparing me to her ex, you know? Don't you hate that when your girlfriend compares you to their ex? I'm like, I'm living in a two-bedroom apartment, things are going okay. And she's like, well, you know, he lived in a castle because he was Dracula. I don't know. Well, that's about it, you ghosts and ghouls. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Travis Miles. A vote for me is a vote for monster rights and women in sexy dresses. So, I mean, you can't go wrong, right? Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, give it up for Tracker Miles.